Hey guys, welcome back. This week's video is for the person who keeps saying, I keep attracting the same person over and over again. I keep going on dates with the same type of personality. I'm attracting narcissists all the time. Narcissists definitely have a radar that can pinpoint certain types of personalities. Now, I know you may not know this, but there is definitely an invisible sign on your back that keeps saying, hey, come into my life and bring me down. It's definitely not your imagination. It's not even your fault because you're not consciously aware of what it is that you're doing that keeps attracting these people into your life. The truth is, narcissists have the ability to really spot vulnerability in a person. They just know these certain vibes that they'll be able to abuse you or use you down the road. So here's the list of things that you might want to work on so you can stop attracting the same person over and over again. Just a little side note here, you also have to be healing yourself because you don't want to be attracted to this type of person, and chances are you have been in the past. Definitely don't want to be on dates or meeting people or in relationships with people thinking, oh look, no empathy, oh look, toxic behavior, and keep moving forward. Number one, you're empathetic. Now, I don't want you to change this about yourself because it's a beautiful gift that you have. It actually is what makes you human, and you're able to connect with other people because you have those high levels of empathy. I just want you to tweak a couple things. I want you to reel it back and give it to the people that really actually deserve it and value it and are not going to take advantage of it. This is the number one thing that all narcissists are going to be able to smell a mile away, because high levels of empathy to them mean that you're going to overlook their behavior, which you did. They know that you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They know that you're probably going to stick around when you see like unhealthy behavior. They know that you're going to be able to see them the way you want to see them, not the way that they're behaving. So because you have compassion, you just have this ability that you want to actually understand people. That creates a little bit of an opening where they can then push boundaries. They can also manipulate the situation and take advantage of you. The vibe that you give off when you're highly empathetic and it's done in an unhealthy way is that you're the fixer. Number two, you crave validation. All of these things to some extent are perfectly fine. They become unhealthy when you're unhealed. So all of this has to do with you, because if you're unhealed, you're going to do all of these things and in an unhealthy way. If you're unhealed, you're actually going to be attracted to someone who is toxic and narcissistic, because your boundaries, your standard, just like the bare minimum of what a relationship should look like and feel like, are not okay. They're tainted, they're unhealthy. You haven't even really learned what it should look like and feel like to be with a healthy person, nor are you healthy yourself. I think craving validation is probably the easiest vibe to spot. You are just a needy person. And it's okay that you're needy because you're aware of it. It's not okay that you're actually needy, but it's okay that you're starting to become self-aware, that you know that you can be needy at times. What does that mean? You're constantly asking people their opinions and what they think. You justify your own decisions. You want to make sure that you're making the right choice. Like, you need that constant validation. You say yes to everything. You ask people if you're doing a good job. Like, you need someone to tell you that you're enough because you don't know how to fill your own tank up. When you become healthy and you start healing a lot of the stuff that's going on inside of you, then you don't really crave validation from anyone. And you're actually fine if someone doesn't give it to you because you don't need it in order to feel good. When you're unhealed, you will absolutely crave it. And when someone doesn't give it to you, you're going to get nasty. You're going to go toe to toe with this person. You're going to want to fight back. Or you're just going to think that they're not giving you what it is that you need when maybe what you actually need is unhealthy. So the shift that needs to happen so you can be healthy and not really be a target for this person is going to be you building up your self-confidence again. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to heal. You're going to have to work on all of your abandonment stuff, like all of your emotional wounds. I'm sorry, you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to learn self-parenting. You're going to have to learn how to be emotionally, mentally healthy, take care of yourself, rebuild your identity, work on self-confidence. Now, I know all of that seems like a lot, but it's not a lot because you're taking baby steps every single day. So you're going from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3. That we don't have to get so overwhelmed with, oh my God, I need to heal everything. Nope. Let's just start with the basics. And I go over all of this stuff in my masterclass. I'll link it down below. I'll link it up here. This is a great course because it gives you all the information. You have access to me also while you're going through this. And it kind of gives you like the step-by-step guide of how to really like overcome some stuff, heal yourself, and become healthy. So if you guys are interested, I definitely suggest starting it today. Number 3, this is the vibe that you are just putting out to the world that says, hey, toxic person, hey, someone who's narcissistic, like come into my life, like ruin it completely, like destroy everything that I've worked so hard to build. You just avoid conflict. Any person who is unhealthy has massive amounts of wounds. They have insecurity. They are not confident within themselves. When you are not confident within yourself, you are not going to stand up for yourself. You don't have boundaries. You don't have standards. Like none of those things really exist. So if those don't exist and you're also not comfortable with confrontation and being able to like verbally communicate with other people on what you think, how you feel, like all of that stuff, then you're just going to get walked all over. You're going to avoid discussions. You're going to avoid disagreements because there's a fear that what if you leave me? What if you don't like me? What if you don't do what it is that I'm asking you to do? There's just like such fear and insecurity there that it kind of like stops you like dead in your tracks. You're going to excuse bad behavior. You're going to overlook the drama. You may not even know that none of what you're actually going through or seeing is okay. Or maybe if you do, it's just become the norm. It's been how you were programmed that you just accept it. A healthy person is going to bring up all of that stuff real fast. They're not going to have a problem discussing anything, talking about their boundaries, enforcing boundaries. Like they don't have that kind of fear that you have. So the shift that needs to happen is you just have to learn how to assert yourself. And asserting yourself takes practice because there's different layers to this. Do you struggle with your standards? Do you not know what your standards are? Do you struggle with boundaries? Do you not know what they are? So that's like one piece. Then the other piece is, do you struggle with just like verbally communicating with another person and being able to go toe to toe with that person? You probably struggle with all of it, but if you don't and you only struggle with maybe like one or two things, it's just important to understand, where do I need to start first? And this is, I think, where most people get a little like overwhelmed because they don't really know what to do in order to fix a problem. And that's kind of where coaching comes in. And this is where you get that like handhold and that step-by-step thing, because you're working with someone, me, someone, anyone or whatever. As long as someone knows what they're talking about, then you'll actually get results. The worst thing in the world is like be in therapy or be doing something or working on something for a really long time and like nothing's changing. Number 4, people pleasing. When you are doing this, just so you know, you may not even know you're doing it, and you most definitely don't know that you're doing it, but there is a huge sign across you that says, hey, I'm a target for narcissistic abuse. Hey, I'm a target to be in a relationship with a toxic person. I know it's great to help people, and we like say that a lot. Well, I just like to help people. Well, here's the thing. Helping everyone at some point can become something unhealthy and toxic for yourself. When you're putting everyone above you, you're going to be a target for abuse. When you are just giving and giving and giving, you are a target for narcissistic abuse, for a toxic relationship, because that type of personality is selfish and is a taker, and they just want to be with a giver, especially an unhealthy giver that has absolutely no boundaries. So here's the question that if you really struggle with being a people pleaser, that you can kind of start asking yourself, and this helps you to overcome codependency and being a people pleaser. Am I doing this because I want to, or am I doing this because I feel obligated to? What are my real reasons for wanting to do this? Am I doing this because I should be doing this, or am I doing it because I'm uncomfortable with them being uncomfortable? Number 5, unhealed wounds. The big takeaway is that unhealed wounds are going to cause so many problems. The biggest problem is that people don't know they're wounded. They don't know what's going on inside of them. They don't know what they've been through and how it impacts them today. And this is why you're trapped in the drama. You're dealing with the same kind of person, the same situations over and over again, and like nothing's changing. Life's not improving, or maybe like one area kind of improves, but all the others pretty much stay the same. All of these wounds kind of come together with whether it's like betrayal or abandonment, I'm not enough, all of that. And they come together and they cause these problems in your relationship, because all of these wounds basically mean that there's something wrong with me. So if you haven't learned what those wounds are and how they influence your life. So for example, if you have abandonment wounds, then you just want to be with someone because everyone has left you at some point. And this is just like a small example. Obviously, we would need to have a conversation about what specifically you've been through so you can understand just how your wounds have impacted you. So everyone has abandonment issues, but everyone has levels of severity of how deep that abandonment wound really like influences their life. So since they don't understand any of those wounds, they don't understand betrayal, disappointment, everything that they've gone through, all the trauma and horrible experiences that were just never dealt with because either they were too young and no one taught them how to deal with it, or there was only so much they could do because they couldn't process it all at once. Here we go with PTSD, then it stays with you, it stays inside you, and it dictates who you pick your life, the life you live, how happy you are, all of those things. So healing from your wounds is not just like, I'm ready to do all of this work just to do this work. No, you're trying to get an outcome from this. So if the outcome is, I want to have great relationships in my life, I want to make good money, I want to be happy, like all the things that we all say that we want, I'm telling you, this is the blueprint. If you start working on understanding what your emotional wounds are, You start healing from that stuff and understanding what healing actually means. That's a word that's thrown around a lot, but does anyone even know what it actually means to heal from something? Once you really understand all that stuff, which is in my masterclass, which is in all of my courses, which I'll link down below, but once you get that, then you can start reprogramming yourself. Then you can start learning how to parent yourself and take care of yourself in the way that you were supposed to learn growing up, but no one taught you because they weren't doing it for themselves. So they were never going to be able to teach it to you. Once those things start to kind of happen, this whole like heal and rebuild thing, then life starts to get better because you feel good in your own skin. You start setting better goals. You start dating or putting yourself out there or starting that business or whatever it is that you want to do for yourself. And you do it in small little steps that are manageable so it can help you to get to the next step. That's when life changes and it starts getting really good. And not that you don't attract people into your life. I don't believe going on a date and meeting someone and going, oh my God, this person is narcissistic or this person is kind of toxic or they're raging alcoholic or whatever. That doesn't mean you attracted that into your life. You only attract the things that you invite into your life because there's toxic people everywhere. So you're going to run into them. It's whether or not you invite them into your life and you allow them to stay. That is the I'm attracting this into my life. So let's talk real quick just about how you can actually change your energy. Number one, you need to start having a lot more self-awareness. So you need to really understand yourself. When you're going through all of this, whether it's a divorce or a breakup or anything, the divorce, the breakup, all of these things that we go through, it's not this situation that's supposed to break you. It's actually just supposed to like open you up and awaken you to the stuff that you're supposed to be doing for yourself to get better. The first thing, self-awareness. Start understanding all the things that are going on inside of you that have led you to this point. So call it sitting on the therapist's couch and like talking about mom and dad and talking about what happened when you were 14. Like, let's get it all out and let's really even figure out just how much this has impacted you. Number two, standards and boundaries. So now we're going to start talking about the way it should have looked or what it should have looked like if it was perfect, healthy, all those things. The only way you can have boundaries is when you start parenting yourself, because if you've never done boundaries before, it's going to intimidate you. You're going to be a little, I don't want to say put off by them. You're not going to understand the magnitude of how powerful it is to actually have boundaries. Yeah, it might feel great. Yep, your ego might be like, ooh, that felt a little good, but you don't need it. It's not air to you anymore. And when that happens, you are not a target for toxic relationships. Those people will not ever be attracted to you because they'll know you're not a person that can be taken advantage of, and you will not be attracted to those people because that's just not how you are. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, don't forget to like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I wish you all the best and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.